Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, it's Jesse with the Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture on all things nerdy through a common sense lens. And a lot of you seem to respond really well to the last Airwolf video that we did out there, well, Knight Rider specifically, the few videos that we've done over the Knight Rider movie kind of reboot that we're going. So I figured we'd kind of keep up with that and try to keep you guys informed if that's the kind of stuff you're interested in. And so we've got some more rumor over there from Tachyon Pulse about what we might actually see going on. We know what we talked about in the last video. We talked about some of the speculation going on about there and some of the rumor mill from a very reliable source. Tachyon Pulse has been pretty reliable in the past over the years, and Cosmic Book News wouldn't be promoting them if they didn't think they were a trusted source out there. And as we've seen time and time again, if you guys have looked through our history of our videos out there, and if you go through our archives and stuff like that, you'll see that a lot of the rumor stuff that we've talked about in the past has been accurate. There's a reason why I don't cover certain rumors, especially if I've been burned by that rumor source in the past out there. But boys and girls, as of right now, seems to things to be seen been going pretty well over there for the Knight Rider movie. We talked about the fact that they want to kind of bring a whole expanded universe if the movie goes well. Obviously, all of this depends on that. Bringing the $6 million man in, bringing Airwolf in, and all of that other kind of stuff going on and expanding things out. Well, boys and girls, if the later rumor is true, we might actually see that start a lot faster than what some people were thinking out there. And I, for one, loved the Knight Rider series as a kid. I didn't get to watch as much of it as a lot of other people. We didn't get as much replay and repeats back in the 90s when I was a kid out there watching this kind of stuff. But the episodes I caught, I absolutely loved the idea. I love the concept of it. I love the Viper show on UPN back in the 90s. And it's one of them situations out there that this is just a great concept. And in an era right now with AI being so much in the news and everything else, it just seems like the right time to do this. So hopefully they can pull it off, honor the original source material, have David Hasselhoff, of course, show up and pass the torch and give us a good action universe with a little bit of fun tech sci-fi in it as well. Because I think considering how much of a drought we're getting in Hollywood of good quality cinema out there, this could be a lot of fun. And yes, boys and girls, as several people commented me from my last video, Chuck Norris never was in Airwolf in any way, shape, or form. I had him confused with something else completely and totally because of a very good veteran friend of mine and the way they were cosplaying and all that kind of stuff. I just crossed those two wires in my mind, and I completely had things miscombobulated. So completely and totally my fault, and shout out to all of you guys that corrected me out there in the chat as well. But we're going to check out this article over here from CosmicBook.News. Airwolf rumored for the Knight Rider movie. Now, this could be fun. So in case you missed our last video out there as well, we're going to give you a full rundown on what we know as what's going on around the Knight Rider movie as of right now, as far as how long it's in production and all that kind of stuff. Matt does a great job of recapping all of that at the end of the article, so we'll get to all of that fun stuff out there as well, boys and girls, because I, for one, would love to see a proper rendition of this done with modern technology, with a lot of the new upstarts we've got, with all the fancy tech we've got nowadays, especially if they do this right. And I know a lot of people are sick and tired of reboots and remakes and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, boys and girls, this is what we're getting. And honestly, if we can bring Knight Rider to a new generation and make them aware of all of this kind of crazy stuff out there, I think that right there is a good thing. And as always, if the adaptation is indeed good, like so many, like others have been, it will make people go back and watch the original series out there. That's how these things always work out there. So let's hope for the best and prepare for the worst as always. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share it with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding. We are growing. We just crossed 2,200. We're sailing our way towards 23 on our journey to 100,000. I think we're sitting at like 2,262, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, there's a comment in the section down below. What do you think about all this? Does it surprise you at all that they're trying to do so much in this movie? Do you think this will end up working out? Do you think they're trying to include too much? And maybe we should just start off with a good, solid Knight Rider movie. Do you think they'll try to make this just a little tease of a cameo? Or do you think this will be an Airwolf will end up being an integral part to the story? Let us know what you think about that, plus whatever your hopes and dreams might be for this movie and its franchise in the future as well, down below in the comment section. And if you'd like to support the channel, please check out the links in the description as well. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, from our dear sweet Matt McGloin over at CosmicBook.News. And did anybody else ever get hoffed? Like, it happened a lot in the military on our computer screens if you left your stuff unlocked. Did that happen in corporate America as well, or was that just something that happened in the military? Let me know if you guys ever got hoffed. The Knight Rider movie is in development from the creators of Cobra Kai, could include a surprise appearance by Airwolf. That's one of the reasons why we're optimistic about this, right? All of the fans that watched Cobra Kai absolutely seem to love it, almost universally. Obviously, there's always some criticisms out there, But this is why we're optimistic about this, boys and girls. Airwolf in the script. Cue the epic theme song. According to the Tachyon Pulse podcast on YouTube, Universal is interested in having Airwolf featured in the upcoming Knight Rider film. And honestly, from Universal's perspective, this makes a lot of sense. They're obviously expanding their reach with their theme park out there. We already know that they're starting to dominate the market in Orlando out there. They're starting to eat Disney's lunch. We'll see how long that lasts. But if this is something that can end up being successful, much like you have rides based on either the Tron movies out there or like the Back to the Future movies and stuff like that, this could just be another ride, another universe that they could introduce into their already epic universe. So it's one of them situations why it actually kind of makes sense as well, because hey, throw another franchise in there, see how they do. Guess what? We can turn it into a ride. I mean, come on, a helicopter ride going through and like doing all the Airwolf stuff and blasting enemies out of the sky and all that kind of fun stuff, just like a Knight Rider ride. Come on, boys and girls, that would sell like hot cakes if the movie's successful, if they do it right. We'll wait and see. But the Cobra Kai guys have already proven they can pull this off and respect to the lore. And one of the things that we were speculating about earlier as well in the chat is, David Hasselhoff's got to be part of it, right? He's either got to like pass the torch or be an integral part of like maybe kind of like somebody had a really good example of Batman and Batman, the Batman Beyond, right? How Bruce had kind of taken a backward role to kind of being the mentor to Terry and stuff like that. Doing something like that, I think that would be a great idea. And thinking about the fact that literally the Cobra Kai guys kind of pretty much picked up from where the movies left off, I'd imagine we can expect something very similar from this as well. So like I said, there's a reason why I'm cautiously optimistic about this as well. The helicopter may not be a large role, but could appear as a cameo or even be referenced briefly within the story, which that is enough, right? Just enough to tie the universes together. Maybe it's just an Easter egg. Maybe you just see the Airwolf helicopter sitting in the bay in the back. But all you Airwolf fans out there, wouldn't that be an awesome little tease? Wouldn't that be a fun little Easter egg? They go, hey, I know that. I know what that is. And you know what? A lot of us fans out there really love that kind of stuff if it's done well. So that could be a lot of fun. And once again, it'll set things up perfectly to expand that story out, because now you're going to have people walking out of the theater going, well, what was that helicopter about? I recognize that from Airwolf. My dad used to watch that with my dad. There you go. Now you drum up interest. Great way to do things either way. I'm hoping it's a little bit bigger though. But it all just depends on how much confidence they actually have in this movie. But once again, this comes off the success of Cobra Kai. They should have a lot of confidence in these guys to basically kind of give them whatever they want and let them do whatever they want. So this is from the YouTuber Tachyon Pulse. I'm hearing that they will have Airwolf in this film. Now, it may not be a big part in it. It may be basically a cameo or even something that is just sort of talked about and seen for a moment within the movie. But I am being told that it's something they really do want to bring into it. And that's a great idea. Like, these guys love this kind of stuff. If they're wanting to expand this universe out, if they're wanting to do more. I mean, these guys just had a great success with, 5 seasons of television with Cobra Kai? I think they ended up getting out of all of that. So, that's a great opportunity right there to now, well, hey, we did that for 5 seasons, right? We took them to Japan. We took them all over the world. Let's try doing some multiple things out here. And I could love this idea. I hope it ends up working out. We'll see what happens. While nothing is final, the mention of Airwolf adds weight to the earlier rumors that Universal is exploring a shared universe built around its classic 80s action properties. And why wouldn't they? Universal is gaining ground pretty much on almost every single metric outside of a couple of box office not do so goods. But they don't have the history that Disney does of the massive box office failures. They're in an expanding phase right now. They're trying to I wouldn't say they're trying to throw everything at the wall, because I think Universal's a lot smarter than that when it comes to some of the creative decisions they make when it comes to this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, that's the thing. They're going full speed ahead with a lot of this kind of stuff. If they've got it, if we can make something good out of it, they're going to try to make money out of it. And that's a smart decision, because they, unlike a lot of other companies, aren't really hurting for the bucks right now, boys and girls. The podcast notes that Universal has been considering a lineup that includes Knight Rider, Airwolf, and the $6 billion man, and maybe even Street Hawk, the motorcycle one. Now, I don't really know anything about Street Hawk. The name kind of rings a bell, So if you guys know about it in the chat, let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know if you guys have watched that. What do you think of Street Hawk? Does that sound really cool too? Does it sound like maybe they're just trying to maybe just throwing a bunch of stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks? I don't know. I don't know anything about Street Hawk, but as a guy who enjoys riding motorcycles, I'm totally down for that. Yes, please. Pump that in my veins if it's done right. You gonna give me a souped up futuristic motorcycle that like shoots rockets and stuff? Yeah, I'm there. Please give it to me. I am so there, boys and girls. The plan would be to start with the Knight Rider movie and expand outward into other projects, eventually tying them together in a crossover. So we're literally going to do like an Avengers level multiverse and then have everything crossover in one big thing. And now we've talked about this before. One of the mistakes that Disney has made since post Endgame is having everybody and everything, right? We don't have any individual stories anymore, right? That was one of the big excuses the trade magazines came up for us while these things flopped. Then, of course, they didn't have that excuse when Fantastic Four flopped, but that's a video for another day. But at the end of the day, this is one of those things. This is how you do it smartly, right? The CW was great at this. Okay, the CW was smart. They knew how to handle crossovers, right? You didn't have everybody and everybody else's show all of the time. What did you do? You had one big crossover event once a year. It was the season finale, right? You'd have some little tidbits here and there throughout the season, but then you'd have one big season finale and everybody would show up, or not everybody, but a lot of people would show up and you'd have some big world-ending event, right? But everybody else was still living in their own universes, doing their own stories, right? That's the way you should keep it. And if they do that and they actually pull off a good, successful Knight Rider movie, which once again, this is the Cobra Kai guys, so I at least have some faith in them to pull this off, then that's the way to do it. Like I said, you can't get, like, towards the end, like the beginning, the CW had made a lot of really smart moves. Towards the end, they got infected by the same spirit of the age that a lot of other situations have, a lot of other corporations have over the last decade or longer. So this is something that I think could end up working out really well. And so I hope it ends up doing really well. I really do want this movie to do really, really well. So there's also speculation about how the new Knight Rider will be framed. Options include a fully modern retelling with futuristic technology, a continuation that reintroduces Kit into today's world, or even a faithful remake of the 1982 original with a Pontiac Firebird. Now, because we know the history of these guys from Cobra Kai, a continuation that reintroduces Kit in today's world definitely sounds more likely outcome. But we also know how Hollywood artists are, right? Like sometimes they're like, I want to try something new. Hopefully these guys are smart and understand the whole adage of, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? And they just keep kind of going through other franchises and doing this kind of thing. I'd be totally okay with that kind of thing, right? And it would also be very successful. They already have a proven track record of that. So we'll have to see what they end up deciding. But I think just based on history, and as we've always talked about, history doesn't just repeat itself, it also rhymes. This seems like the most likely path for them to go. The studio direction appears to lean towards a retelling of the original concept. We'll see. The YouTuber previously said that Elon Musk's Tesla could be the new Kit or some sort of concept car, including an EV Dodge Charger. I really hope they don't go with an electric vehicle. They just don't sound right. I know they're fast, but they just don't sound right. Are you really going to get excited about a sports car if when it's driving past, chasing some bad guy out there, it goes, like, really? That's what you're going to want? That's going to get you excited? No. I don't think so. I mean, wasn't it literally like Ford that like has like a fake exhaust for their Mustang electric car so it still sounds like a Mustang, but it's completely and totally fake? It's just literal speakers? I don't know. The Knight Rider also movie has no release date as of yet. Back in August, it was announced that the creators of Cobra Kai are set to bring Knight Rider to the big screen. John Hurwitz, Hayden Schlossberg, and Josh Harold are in talks to write and direct the movie, which is based on the classic 1980s action drama about Michael Knight and his talking car Kit. I suggest you fasten your seatbelts, everyone. Knight Rider is coming, confirmed Hurwitz on Instagram at the time. So it sounds like he's not just in talks anymore. It sounds like he's sealed the deal. The contracts are signed. Basically, they're just figuring everything else now. So excited to dig into another old 80s favorite. So it sounds like they're wanting to do the same thing over and over again. Grateful to be teaming up with the incredible teams at 87 North and Spyglass, and to be reuniting with our old friends at Universal Pictures. So everything that we know so far, everything that we've seen, every statement that they've made leads us to the most likely conclusion that they are going to probably lead this off like they did Cobra Kai. as long as Universal doesn't decide to stick their finger in the middle of it and ruin it. We'll see what happens. But either way, they're going to get a faithful adaptation. Whether or not it's going to be everything we ever wanted, whether or not it's going to be successful, all lie in the future of questions that we have not answered yet, and all we can do is speculation. And speculation's fine. That's kind of what we're doing here with the rumor mill as well. But at the end of the day, it's one of them situations, boys and girls, well, we'll have to wait and see. But I like a lot of this stuff that we're hearing. I like the idea of, even if it's just a cameo, right? If this movie is successful, they want to expand an entire universe. And honestly, as a guy that loved the CW's crossovers and a lot of the stuff that they were doing up until the last few years where things just really got just bone dry stupid with a lot of their storytelling out there, I love this idea. I love this concept. And as long as you use it sparingly, right? You know, give everybody their own individual movie before you bring everybody back together again, right? You know, give Knight Rider a sequel, give Airwolf their movie. Or, you know, give Airwolf their sequel. If you do the motorcycle one, give those guys their sequel. Give them all their sequel, Give them all their first movie, do a big crossover. Give them all their sequel, do a big crossover. I mean, these are action movies, right? These are action movies. This isn't rocket science, right? Beautiful women, big explosions, fast cars, and guns, right? This isn't rocket science at all on how to make a decent action movie that a lot of fans are going to love. And if you honor the source material, like we know the Cobra Kai guys have done in the past, we already have proof of concept with them that they can indeed pull this off, then why wouldn't you? The biggest mistake Hollywood always ever makes in a lot of the modern era, outside all of the activism nonsense, is putting way too much money behind these things. Give these guys a couple of $100 at the most, maybe $100 million, because it's an action movie. It shouldn't cost you that much to make it to begin with, especially with how cheap special effects are to do nowadays, how advanced the technology has come. So yes, give us a cameo of a little Airwolf in the background. Give us a little $1 Million Man cameo in the background. Give us all the cameos. But most of all, if you want to really truly get us excited about an expanded universe, it's not going to be about the cameos you put. It doesn't matter if it's going to be Airwolf. Doesn't matter if it's going to be $6 billion Man. It does not matter what cameos you put in this movie. If you do not give us a solid, good, faithful adaptation to Knight Rider, then everything else is not going to matter. All of the rest of these rumors, all of the rest of the speculation are not going to matter, because we have seen all of these big plans get laid out, whether it be Marvel or Star Wars or DC or any of them. We've seen all of these big plans get laid out. And what happens? They think they're so smart, them narcissists, them prideful folks out in Hollywood. They know. Oh my God, do they know exactly what the future is going to hold. So they plan all these big things out. Well, one thing that they don't ever factor for is all of us, the audience, the fans, the common nerds, the people part of the nerd herd, right? That's what they always forget about. Because at the end of the day, we decide what succeeds and what fails. And so far, these guys have been really good about making the fans very happy. So I am extremely cautiously optimistic about the future of Knight Rider, Airwolf, and the $6 Million Man. Because if they do these properly, and with all the technology and the craziness we've got out there in the world right now, I mean, we just saw $6 Million Man's basically a cyborg movie, right? Is what it is. Look at the success of cyberpunk. Look at the success of sci-fi genres in general, if you do well. And boys and girls, the Cobra Kai guys are the people that do it. So shout out to all the Airwolf fans out there. Thanks for correcting me. And boys and girls, when you go to see this movie, keep your eyes peeled, because there is a very good possibility we will see Airwolf in the Knight Rider movie. If nothing else, just a cameo. And if they do the Knight Rider movie, well, boys and girls, we can look for a huge expanded universe, because Universal's got the money to do it. All they have to do is give us a good product, because at the end of the day, the audience do decide. But at least in this case, this fan is excited for the future of what to come. And at the end of the day, we do decide whether something succeeds or fails. So give us a good Knight Rider so you can give us some great Airwolf as well. A big shout out to all of our subscribers and members out there. Thanks for watching, and make sure you guys like and subscribe if you have not already.